welcome back to OP Hour. Thank you for joining me today. So today we are continuing on with our underwater world book Nook. Really hard for me to say underwater world, it just feels, doesn't flow. Anyway, this is how far we got. So I realised that this piece on the end here, the last piece we put on, I put on the wrong way around. It should have had the white decoration here, and it would have had blank wood here, which meant that I could have fitted this on beforehand, but needless to say, we have got it on now and it's drying. So now what we're going to do is put this side on, and hopefully it matches up quite well. And so yep, it's going to work. So I'm going to get my wood glue, which I've put safely somewhere. Oh, there it is. Yep, it was exactly where it should be. So I'm going to get this done, and just going to glue it in here, along here, making sure I leave enough room for this wiring. Don't want to get glue on that. Oops, so I squidge it all over the show, and then on here too, and the piece of paper that you've got over as well. Seriously. All right, and let's get that in there. Probably just about fits. It's going to be a squeeze. There we go, and it all clicks into place. So that will be this piece done, and get that all the way down there as well. And I didn't put any glue on this edge, did I? Looks like it's probably got enough seepage from it, really, but just in case. Plus I should have used the other type of glue for that, but never mind. That is kind of on, and that is I would say this side done, but it actually isn't, but almost. So I want that to dry for a moment so it catches, and we will get that sorted. That is not in all the way, so let's get that in all the way. It doesn't want to stay, and we will get all these the rest of it completed, and we should get that done quite quickly. I'll be right back and just wait for this to dry for a moment or two. Alright, and you can just about see through the window, so you can see our little people sitting there. See them with the computer. You can see the guy asking for help. You can just about see the people from the back there, and here too, just about seeing there. Alright, next we are going to be putting lights, things like that on it. So let's see where we are. So we've got a whole pot of things here, including some very small red dots, so let's start with those so I don't lose them. So we are going to have 2 red dots here. Doubting myself now because I've already got red markers on, but yes, it's going to become beads. And when I find them, get my tweezers ready to go, and these are just going to go on here, and then we are going to be putting another one on here and turning it over and doing the same thing, and seeing where that other red bead is. It obviously went for a travel. That's okay, we have a few, so let me just grab another one. Oh no, of course it would have 2 left. Duh. Dared myself again. Okay, and then I'm going to turn it over, hopefully not put too much pressure on that side. It'd probably be better actually if I was using B7000 rather than wood glue on these, being it's not wood and it is plastic. So let's switch that out. And it has the red dots on the paper of where it's meant to be going. So let's get the tray out the way, and you out the way. Some of the other stuff we are putting on is wood. That will be alright. And then, because it's paper, try not to touch that too much, we are going to fold these edges down and glue them like so, and then putting this back one on the top. So I'm going to get that sorted, and that's just going to use the beacon, which is very happy to come out everywhere I don't want it. I'll do the two sides first, and then I'll come back and do that top bit. Let me come back to you when I've done that. Alright, that's all on. So now we're going to do the top, finish off the top here while we're on the top. Oops. I see one of my little red lights have gone southward. Okay, those ones are okay. Huh. These ones are rather crooked. Well, that one's pretty stuck, so it's not going anywhere. Alright. So what we're going to do is put these two on here. I'm going to do that with a drop of wood glue. Again, it's probably quicker if you're using YouTube, if you're using super glue, but I'm not confident enough for it. I'm going to glue these up ready to go so they start getting a bit sticky. Where's the other one? Here it is. I'm going to pop those on. Then we're going to get this train sign put on, and then we're going to turn it so that we work on the front of the train. So I guess there's like, I don't know, the electric rails maybe type thing on there. It's probably not going to be straight until I look at it. Oh, well, you can only just see it anyway. Let's get everything else out the way. Ah! One was taken off. Let's see how straight those are. You know, it's not terrible. Just make sure they line up. We're not going to put anything else on here. So those are okay as I move it. And reasonably straight. Then we're going to put the train sign onto the front. I'm just using all wood glue for this. Cover up maybe some of these, all these glue marks that we got on things. Gosh, I feel like quite a messy worker with this build. I mean, like I said right at the beginning, it's definitely not my favourite, to say the least. And there our railing fell off. Try and get that square-ish. You see a strand from glue. Way too fine for a dog hair. And the train one goes on here, like that. Push it forward a little. Just going to make sure again these are lined up, being that that one moved. Reasonably. Let's do it this way so it's square with the front. So they are on, and they should stay. Then we are going to put our little whale sign. I don't know why it says whale, but we have it, and there's a spot for it right at the front here, and it's actually thingied out, so you know where to put it. Lined out, that's the word. It's got a line where to put it. That goes on there. Push you down. Then that big dot here is going to go, there's a circle on here too. It's going to go on there. And zoom in ahead now. And then we have two smaller dots here. here. Gonna get those on. Which I guess are kind of the lights or something. Something like that. And this one too. Yep. And then underneath there we're going to have this strip of wood. Might as well do it on the wood here. Wood to wood will be fine with wood glue. And then I guess we use the B7000 to attach this railing that we made forever ago, which looks so big for it, but it goes over the lights evidently, so it's not probably such a bad thing. And this goes underneath here, a bit closer to the lights there. I'm going to clean off that glue from here. There we go. And on top of that will be our little rail that we made last time, with the pieces which are attached, the little spokes that are attached on the inside. So let's see what we can do with this. So being it's stringy, I'm just gonna run it across. It does dry it clear, so it should be okay. It's definitely not 100% square, my little grid here, but it will work. Go on, over you go, over to the other side more. Maybe a little bit down, kind of gives an idea that it's touching the little lights here but not covering them. Definitely not as square as it should be. And you can only tell these things with me once you start installing them. So that is this whole thing done. So it doesn't look bad, does it? We're going to put that to one side. For me it's the windowsill. And we are going to be moving straight on to, I was going to say the carriage. We kind of are, but we've got a few bits to do to that. So off camera, I will cut all these out and put them both sides of the pieces of wood that we have, which are here. These glass pieces need to be cut down, and this one needs resticking anyway. Cut down, straight down there, and the same this one. So I will do all those off camera. You don't need to sit and watch me do all that again. Get them all cut out and bring that back. But before we get to that stage, we have to make a little box and a carrier bag type thing. So I'm going to get this cut out. For this, we separate it out, which basically just means unjoining it together. And we need 5 centimeters, so let me get that cut out. So we don't need it all, so I'm going to leave those connected, and we're going to separate them, and then we have to flatten them, and then we have to join them together again, which doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. So I'm going to undo this, and then one of them will cut in half and the other one we will hold on to. So let's put this one in half. Still seems rather big to me. Don't see, I mean, you can unravel these so that they look like flat pieces of paper, but then we're going to put them back together again. So it doesn't really, wow, are they anywhere near close to the same size? No, good times. So let me even those up. And these are going to make handles for a little bag, basically. Get rid of the trash, otherwise I'll lose it. Put that over there in case I need it again. Yeah. And we will be bending these, something like that, to go on the inside. Let me get the bag cut out, and you've seen me make a box before. It's going to be very similar to that, but let me get it cut out. I'll get it all bent, ready to glue. Alright, so it's cut out. As you can see, I've just folded the edges, and basically we're going to put the two ends inside and glue up both sides so it leaves a gap on the top like a little bag. So I'm going to get that done. Alright, it's still quite wet from the glue, but then what we're going to do is put one each end and then double it over so it makes like two handles. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it in on one side on each of them, let it dry, and then turn it over. I'll be back. I'll also get this book ready to go. Like we did last time, all you're doing is concertina in it so that it makes it into a book. Alright, so we are back with our bag. You can see what I've done roughly, and this just has a bit of fabric put in it. Don't ask me, I have no idea why. So I'm going to pop that in there. I'm using the one which is more frayed because you're not really going to see it much anyway, and put it kind of at an angle, I guess, in here. And then once I get it in there eventually, then I will get it. I'll just put probably a tiny bit of glue just to the top there. Maybe I could fold it over. I actually have no idea what it's even meant to be. Maybe they went shopping for a scarf. What do you think? Maybe? Anyway, this and, well, darn it, almost had it in there. This and the book both take up a whole place on the seat. People could be sitting on that, is all I'm going with. Seems very selfish. I don't really think a bag needs a seat on the train, unless the train is about to have a terrible ending, in which case maybe that's why there's no people on there. Wow, can't get this in. Give me a moment, I'll get my eyes to focus, and we will get that in there and fastened in. I'll get rid of this one, don't need that. For now, we will be needing it. Alright, believe it or not, something like that. And then we have a book here that we have done too. Just had that drying with a clip, so that works. Get rid of that, everything's sticking to me. And then we're going to get these chairs all put together, which is amazing how different colours they are. I guess some caught the sun and some didn't. Right, let me get the wood glue out for that. And it's the little one which seems to have all these items on. How visible are they? Let me see. They're in there. Anyway, right, that is not wood glue. Look at me. Alright, so I'm going to put some along here. Some along here. That's not how we want it at all. Let's take that off. What we want is the wider pieces, these two, to have the glue running along them, and the other ones are going to meet up to them. Just put my hand straight in that glue, and then we're going to stick the book and the bag on there. I'm tempted to just put people on there, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm definitely putting people on the other seat, the larger seat of the two. So again, line these up. My hands are really sticky where I cleared off that glue. Should have used tools. I have them. Oh, come on. I'm trying to get as much done as I can so that this doesn't go on for another 50 days. It is rather more detailed than I anticipated. It didn't look detailed at all. And like I say, the only sad thing on this whole thing is that hardly any of it ends up really showing. So I am going to have a guy standing by this one about to sit down. I'm going to have a child standing on it. Naughty, naughty. But she is a very cute child that I found. Let me show you. So these are my little people that I'm going to be putting on. So this one is quite a cute child, right? Ooh, let's get you focused on that. Kind of cute. Got a teddy bear. Anyway, she's going to be a naughty child because she's going to be standing on the seat. And then this seat has the book and everything. I mean, the thing is, you're not really going to overly see these. So, and I was thinking of the guy with the walking stick to go there. This guy, chopped him in half, and he's going to have a briefcase. That's probably why his child is dancing all over the place. So I've decided that it's this one's child that's standing there, and he's busy thinking about his work and what he's going to do. And he's going to have a briefcase standing by the side of him. So I'm putting those on. Famous last words. It's going to take me a minute. Maybe I should use super glue for this. Probably a better idea, so it takes quick. Let's clean that up. Because then we have to put the legs on. And it just has one on each side. Actually, maybe I'll just do that first. So you want the wider part here. And these are just going to be upright. And I am also going to use super glue and risk it. Feeling a bit risky today, obviously. I need to get new super glue if I haven't got any more. As I throw it straight down on the paper. Another good reason to use grease-proof paper. Need to clean my tweezers. Okay. Another one. Super glue all over my hands from this build. Although it can be quite fun to peel it off. Depending on the type of person you are. Okay, that one's done. And I'm going to give those a few moments, and then we'll stick these people on and make a decision on if I'm going to have... I mean, the thing is, the book in the bag you're not going to see. I know it kind of has its back to what you're doing. That was nicely positioned there. Did you see that? Oh, I'm only just in camera. See, I end up focusing so much on what I'm doing that I don't look at the camera. That's probably where it all goes wrong. Okay, this one's a lot closer to the edge, but I'm not going to worry too much about it. All right, and so let's go with the bigger one. Give that a minute or two, and then I'll start sticking a few bits and pieces, which I'll probably super glue. Then for the next issue, I will have all these done, rather than watching you do it, ready to go. And that makes the carriage at the back, which kind of is cut off because it goes into the mirror at the back of the model itself. But I'll get these people on, show you what that kind of looks like, get these little bits and pieces put to one side to dry properly, because they all go in the carriage, and see what I want to do. I mean, it's kind of like if the book isn't seen very well, which it doesn't look like it is, then do I really want to put it on that chair? Or do I want to put it somewhere more prominent? I will think about this. I will be back in a little bit, just to make sure that super glue sets up well, and get these people and things like that on there, and make a decision where I'm going from there. And then, like I say, going to get all this put together, and that'll be for tomorrow. That'll be all done and dusted, so it should be, famous last words, a quicker one. At least we can get the carriage done, the last carriage, and then we will be down to putting it into the model itself, which I am not looking forward to, we can say. Alrighty, as I said, I'm going to make a start on these, but I'm not going to be finishing them. So all you need to do is put your glue on. I use Beacon because it seems to be the better one as far as stringiness goes. Easiest way to make sure you're lined up is actually hold it to some sort of light. Fortunately, I have a little bit of daylight to my side. When you're happy, then push it out so that you get rid of any bubbles, and vice versa. Just try and keep your spreader here really clear. Sorry, I was cutting the glass ready for the next stage as well, so I moved it. Okay, so you got that, something like that, and that's looking at the reflection. That is lined up, ready to go. So I'm going to leave those to dry. I'm going to do the rest of these, leave them to dry, flip them over, put these blue pieces, which there's several of, on the other sides, and then tomorrow we will finish that off basically, or we will do this compartment and we will finish it. So what I ended up doing as far as the seats go is I got a guy standing like he wants to get on there, that naughty girl standing on the chair next to the guy with his briefcase. And then on the other side, because it had the bag of the book, I just literally left it as the bag of the book, because it was actually quite disproportionate to the people that I was putting in there. So it was a no-win. So it wasn't going to happen. Right, let me get all these done, and I will see you tomorrow to get all these put together. They'll all be cut out, ready to rock and roll, and we should be able to get that part of the build completed, and hopefully start looking at the next step, which is putting it into the model itself. I'll tell you what I didn't do. I just noticed this door I did not put on the train. Let me go grab that, and I will put those on here. So all it does as it falls inside, that is not what it does. Come back out. Is it's meant to stand on the outer edge without going inside, so that there is a lip all the way around it. So I will get that done as well, off camera. You don't need to see every tiny thing, just want to make sure it lines up and doesn't go inside. Right, if you do have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them on the channel, and or you can send me an email at opallyhour@outlook.com, and please do remember to like and subscribe. It really does mean a lot to me, and also enables you to be informed whenever I upload any new content. So I do part works as well as these one-off models, which this one seems to be going on forever, I have to say. But yeah, so I kind of do both, and you will be notified then. But you know, the most important thing is to take care of yourself. Take care. Bye bye.